Today's daf we're going to be learning is Nazir Daf Lamed Gimel. This is the daf for Shabbat. A very, very quick daf, as I mentioned in yesterday's class. I gave the whole background to it there, so I'm not going to repeat that. Why this happened and how it happened. Not that I know exactly how it happened, but what happened at least. Today's daf is sponsored in honor of a big Yom Holedet Sameach to Sakta Abi Flamholtz on her half-century birthday from Sigal, Zach, and Nitzan. And just appreciate it this time because next cycle it will not come out on Shabbat. Okay, here goes. Abaye Amal. We were in the middle of our question on Beit Hillel Shita and the Mishna. Beit Hillel had said if all these people take bets, basically, if this happens, I'll be a Nazir. If this, I'm not. They can't all be. It can't all happen. Beit Hillel said only the one whose words didn't come true are Nazirs. To which the Mishna said, the Gemara said, it should be the one whose words did come true. To which Rav Yehuda says, yeah, just change it. But Abaye has a different answer. Abaye Amal. Tigon de Amal. Inami lav plonihu ehavi Nazir. Abaye wants to leave the words lonit kaimut v'hav, but what he mean? But he has to add in that something else happened here. So let's say I said, and there's a bunch of different ways to understand this line, but let's say the one that makes the most sense to me is like I said, I'm so convinced it's this person. If it's this person, I'm going to be a Nazir. And then the commentaries say you have to say it toch kedei dibur within a very short period of time, right? Just the words say hello to my rabbi. I said, even this is the word inami, also lav plonihu. Even by the way, if it's not him, I'm going to be a Nazir. Like I basically say, I'm going to be a Nazir. Okay, what I want to say is, I'm so sure I'm right, I'm going to be a Nazir. But then I say, you know what, even if I'm not right, I'm going to be a Nazir anyway. It's a little bit hard to read the Mishnah this way, but so he says. And then, umay lonit kaimut v'rav. So what does it mean, lonit kaimut v'rav? Lonit kaimut v'rav arishonim elet v'rav ha'achronim. Right, whenever we have this kind of statement, and we've seen this a bunch of times recently, do we go by the first thing you say, or do we go by the end of what you said? So what the Mishnah's teaching you, according to Abaye, is if you change and you said, I'll be a Nazir, even if this happens, we don't say we go only by what you said at first. But if what you said at first doesn't come true, but what you said in the end did come true, the second part of what you said, we go by that and you're going to be a Nazir also. Okay, so that's a creative, I would say, interpretation of the Mishnah. It's definitely not what it says, but it is a way to keep true to the words, lonit kamut v'rav, because they're saying lonit kamut, what you said in the beginning, but you did say at the end something, because otherwise it really makes no sense. Now, if this person disappears and we never get to check who it is, it's not a Nazir. He's not a Nazir. Now, what you can infer from here is you're not going to be a Nazir because the person disappeared and we never got to figure out who it is. But if the person appeared before us and we saw who it was, then one of us at least would be a Nazir, right? Because it sounds that way, because it's only if he disappears or she disappears and we never have a way to identify the person, do we say you're not a Nazir. But it sounds like this tanna would agree that if you find out, you'd be a Nazir. Mane, now who does this accord with? And the question is going to continue onto the next page. Let's see already tomorrow. We already finished our daf, which is, it doesn't seem, we'll say it can't be this, it can't be that, it can't be that. Again, we're going to get back to what I mentioned earlier about this case of the Me'ach Kor and Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, we're going to say it must go by Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, but they're going to try to figure out who does this go by, even though it kind of matches Beit Hillel, like we saw in our Mishna. So I'm not really sure why they were asking this question, but I think they want to connect this because they're going to say even Beit Hillel might have an issue with this kind of a case. And then they're going to say that this clearly matches Rabbi Yehuda, and we'll get to that on Sunday's daf. So quick review of today's daf. We finished the second answer to the question. The language of this Mishnah doesn't make sense. Lo nitkaimu tvarav. We have Rav Yehuda, who basically changed it to take out the word lo nitkaimu, make it nitkaimu, right? If it came true, you'll be a Nazir. And Abaye said, no, add in that the person must have taken, right, fixed their vow after and said something else and said, in addition, I'll be a Nazir if they're not, if it's not that person. And then we basically say, don't go by only the first thing they said. You can also go by their correction at the end, which again, as we've seen, there's a whole debate about that, whether Tvos Lashon Rishon, when you change, right, do we assume you really meant the first thing you said, or we go by the second thing you said? And then we had this other thing where they made an inference, and then based on that inference, they're going to ask a question, which you'll understand the question much better when we see all the ins and outs of it on Daf Lamed Daled. That, wishing everybody a Shabbat Shalom and a Shavua Tov. And you can use your extra time to learn the extra shiurim. Have a great Shabbat. Bye.